Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to all of you at home. It is Wednesday, 4/20, and I want to make a very special announcement today on the Morning Woodward Show. As of tomorrow morning, we'll be officially drug testing here at the Woodward Sports Network the day after. But jokes aside, the Tigers lose yesterday. Kayvon Thibodeau, the favorite to go number 2 overall. Detroit City FC make history, a historic 2-1 victory over the Columbus Crew. And if you're not sure who the hell that is, they are an MLS team, a very successful, historic MLS team, by the way. But Terry, good morning, man. How are you?
Good morning. We're doing pretty good today. Let me get my camera situated. I'm doing pretty good today. Trying to get stuff right.
All good, all good. Look, I got to say, we'll start with Tigers because I know you have a lot to say about Detroit City FC. Tigers lose 4-2 to the Yankees. Not surprising. I'll say this. Pitching is better than what it was early on in the year, even though we're still very early on. The bats are a problem right now. And again, talk to me in 40 games about the record, how they're playing, how individuals are doing. But damn, those bats need to get going eventually. They need to be a 6-7 run team if they are really looking to win series after series, if they're really looking to push for the playoffs, Terry. And last night, another 2-run performance. That is, I believe, the 5th time they've been held to under 3 runs this year. That is not a recipe for success. I believe the 4th time, actually. It's not a recipe for success, Terry. I'm not feeling good about it. I know it'll turn good. Again, it's April. They're coming off a shortened spring training. I'm willing to respect that. But damn it. Bats need to get going eventually, Terry.
No, that's absolutely true. But I do believe that it's too soon to put, to be panicked or not about the Tigers. But last night they lost the game because of a pop fly, and this is the team that's rounding the shape. And I know everybody was in this situation, but there was really no spring training. We didn't know if there was going to be a season, and so I just think that they are compromised right now a little bit more than others because of the youth of the team. And then what's the joke we make every spring? The Tigers get off to a slow start hitting because of the Hispanic players. Now, I don't buy that, but it's something that people always like to bring up, and it's kind of stupid. But, it's just too early. You lost because of a pop fly, where the two winning runs came through basically on a fly that Barnhart should have caught. And I guess when he was saying that when the ball was hit, it was in foul territory, and then it drifted into fair territory, and then it was a mishap. So this shows it's not in sync yet. Maybe they will. Who knows?
Well, Terry, I'm going to ask you to, if you can, disconnect and try to rejoin maybe through your laptop. The audio isn't coming in all that great on our end, so I'll talk to you in a little bit. Alex will let me know when you're back, and Alex, let me know if he's good to go in a little bit. We'll transition into Detroit City FC. Fish, I would love your thoughts. Initially, I'll kind of break it down. They win 2-1. They beat the Columbus Crew 2-1 last night. Maxi Rodriguez, 2 goals, 1 on a penalty. I want to say the penalty was in the 66th minute, 67th? 85. Holy hell. Wow. Late goal for Detroit City FC is a big deal. It's such a, for all of you casuals or anybody who doesn't understand how MLS works, the MLS is very straightforward. It's not promotion relegation system. It's you buy into the MLS and you have a team there at all times. You have no way of promoting. So a team like Detroit City FC that is very successful, very dominant in their bracket, go out and beat an MLS team like the Columbus Crew, and we're sitting here like, man, how good did that feel? Imagine that every single week for an entire calendar year overseas in these Premier Leagues in England, Spain, or wherever you want to call them. It doesn't matter. Fish, last night, big win for the Detroit City FC football team, beating the Columbus Crew 2-1. That's a big deal. Congratulations to their super loyal fan base as well, and to all the great people that work there, and the players and the coaches. But Fish, what does that win mean? They're into the round of 32, right? They're not the quarterfinal yet, semifinal. It's not a Cinderella run yet, but it could be. Yeah, a home game would be amazing. Again, look, I want to put this into perspective for all of you at home. When you support a club like Detroit City FC, and yeah, they're not part of the MLS, right? It's not the big sexy team, or they're in the league, they're on national TV all the time, but when you get those opportunities, Fish, and you know more than anybody, Fish, because you watch championship soccer, these fan bases cherish, they absolutely cherish the opportunity to go up against one of those big teams. And when they win those games, I'm telling you, they talk about it for years. And this is a win that I believe will be talked about 40 years to come for Detroit City FC. And that's going to lead me to my next point. It's time for promotion relegation here in the United States.
That'll never happen.
I know it'll never happen. I know there's too much money invested into MLS. It's needed. You don't want to see Christian Pulisic playing overseas? You don't want to see Clinton Dempsey going overseas? Tim Howard? The only guys that were ever semi-successful? You don't want to see all of your young talent playing on internationally? Fine. Put together a league that, one, operates the way the world operates, and two, allows for actual growth. When you buy a team, what does that mean? What does that mean? The commitment to soccer is, it's half your foot in, half of it out. You know, it's like you're putting your foot into the pool, Fish. You're just testing the water. You got to go all in. And again, there's going to be tons of millionaires who aren't going to be happy with that, because 3 teams every year will be sent down to the second division. Invest in your football team. Invest in academies. Invest in the youth. And that's how you'll promote this game here in the United States. It's that simple for me. Again, it's not my money, so I can totally respect them saying hell no to this. But nights like last night are why it's so important to have promotion relegation systems. And a point-based system, not the playoffs. Look, I understand. We're the United States.
But there are
we
other
do
leagues.
Things our ways. But damn it, the league should be decided by a point system.
There are other leagues that have playoffs, and they do fine.
Different than the United States, though. Different than the United States. And again, if you want to adopt the Premier League, the Spanish League, the Italian League, the major
Really
leagues
all
that
of
are
Europe.
successful, that's basically where I'm going with this, Fish. That's how you're going to find success. So, look, are they going to be interested in losing tens of millions of dollars? Probably not. Probably not. But the promotion relegation system, I believe, is the only way that the United States will ever be worth any salt in terms of international soccer, and where they'll actually be able to compete every 4 years in a World Cup. But Terry, I want to know your thoughts. Kind of take me back through the story of DCFC, what their intentions are downtown possibly, and if we'll ever see this team become an MLS team. Who knows?
Well, there's a bigger picture here, and the bigger picture is, what does this win do to stimulate the interest of soccer in the city of Detroit? And a lot of times, unfortunately, we always talk about Detroit versus everybody. Well, this is one of those cases. The MLS does not believe in Detroit. The MLS does not believe that the soccer interest here is rabid enough to have a team. Detroit has been rejected before. Columbus has got, franchise, obviously, Seattle and others. But when Detroit's turn comes around, there's always some excuses. One of the ones that I hate, they don't want to come here because they don't want the team to be playing in Ford Field because the Lions play there. I said, who cares? The Lions play in the fall. MLS is in basically the spring and the summer. The Lions are not even in there, so it doesn't matter to me, but it matters to this league. But what does this? Where do you go from here as far as? Are you going to get an MLS team? There's people here like Roger Faulkner and others who believe that Detroit would support an MLS team. In fact, I talked to a group of people who wanted to build a stadium in Midtown, right near the Lodge Freeway. They also had a proposal to build a stadium on the riverfront next to the Free Press printing plant. But that never happened. They even talked to Mike Duggan's brother, Dan Duggan, about getting him involved because they thought that Mike Duggan might rubber stamp things. So that's where we are. The 6,100 people last night at the match matter a little bit. The people who support DCFC matter a little bit. But now, if the goal is to go MLS, now the big boys must take over. DCFC, as it stands now, cannot go MLS. Way too much money. I think the initiation fee or the franchise fee is $250 million. They do give breaks to people, like you can get in for $170 million or $150 million if they like you. But now the big boys must take over. And that's the unfortunate thing now. But once again, we're getting ahead of ourselves because we don't know what the ramifications of last night's game was. Was it a great moment that disappears, or is it a great moment that creates momentum to really stimulate soccer? Because one of the problems with soccer is over the years, this big victory by the women's team is going to make soccer take off. The men make it into the quarterfinals. Well, soccer's going to take off. Well, guess what? Hasn't happened. So how's that going to play out here in Detroit? To be honest with you, I don't know, because what you have here in Detroit, the people that support DCFC, they're said we're all ready to go. But you have a bunch of other people who are sitting around like this who hate soccer. They don't want it to succeed, and they do things to make it, a failure. They're going to make sure they don't support it. They're going to try to block funding because it's not their sport. So now we have two sides butting heads together, and what's going to happen, I can't tell you, but I tell you what should happen is the MLS needs to, put down their guards about playing at Ford Field. Detroit proper needs to find a stadium that an MLS team could play. It won't be Detroit City. There'll be some other team that's created. And I think the city needs to be more aggressive. And Adam, you brought up one thing, having academies for youth soccer. They already have that. They created that a few years ago. There is a British team that's involved in it. There's a couple local soccer clubs that are involved in it. So they have done that. It just hasn't taken off yet.
Yeah, and I think it's going to take investment. It's going to take time. This isn't something that you're going to fix over the next 3, 5, 10, 15 years. It's probably a 20-year commitment before you see the fruits of all the labor. But we got to head to break. When we get back, Terry, we posed the question last night, what pick, what selection would trigger same old Lions thoughts? Now, for me, there's only one on my mind. I'm very curious to hear what Terry has to think. We'll get to that right after the break. Oh, man. It's going to be a good show. Scott Bischoff joining at 9 o'clock. So we'll see you guys in about 15, 30 seconds, and we'll be right back with some Lions talk.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Guardian Alarm gets it. A good defense on and off the field that helps you feel secure. Guardian Alarm has state-of-the-art technology that helps you feel safe. All with 24/7 local monitoring. Guardian Alarm also has convenient features that let you check in on your home, control lights and temperatures, detect smoke and carbon monoxide. It will even let you lock and unlock your doors. Call 1-800. Stay out today. That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm has been trusted for over 90
You
years,
guys have a nice
keeping
day,
families
Get the hell out.
safe. Hell yeah.
Go back to your home in Columbus.
All right, baby. Here we go. 8:18 here on a Wednesday. Terry Foster joining us from home. What pick would trigger the same old Lions PTSD/thoughts at number 2 overall? Terry, for me, there's only one pick that would send me through that glass window, and that
Only
would be
one?
Yeah, only one. It's only
Wow.
one selection. It's very vague. However you want to take it, it's a secondary player. I don't care who it is. I don't care if Moses came down from the heavens and enlisted himself as a cornerback. I don't care if Jesus himself came down and enlisted himself as a safety. It is unacceptable this year for the Detroit Lions to take any secondary player. That, for me, would be so criminal. It would be so unacceptable. I don't think I could live with myself. I don't know why I wouldn't have any reason to live anymore, Terry, is where I'm going with this. I could not handle it. It's too much for me. A secondary player would be the ultimate, you guys really got me good. Because I've never had more faith in a front office than I do with this one. The coaching staff, is it proven? Is it something I'm so confident in I could book it in 3 years? This is going to be a division-winning contending team? No. But that's what this season's for, to show me where they're going. And I've never had more confidence in my lifetime. And here we are, Terry, that one pick. It could only be one. And that's a secondary player at number 2 overall. And the only team in the last 11 years to select a secondary player in the top 3 are your Detroit Lions.
I'm going to slightly twist your mind a little bit. You're right, the secondary, but I'm going to give you 2 players that you would probably have a convulsion over. Kyle Hamilton and Sauce Gardner. That's 2 players, but yes, both in the secondary. So I think if they go that route, then it shows that it is the same old Lions. that probably they put on their draft board. One of these guys is the best player available, which always kills the Lions in the past, but it won't be the best player to help your team win. So one more time, I'll go back to my old NFL people that you got to put pressure on the opposing quarterback, make Aaron Rodgers uncomfortable, make Kirk Cousins uncomfortable, and the people in the secondary don't do that. Now, the other thing that you've got to throw in, the NFL has changed the rules where there's no such thing as a lockdown corner. There's no such thing as a safety that can dominate as much as he could in the past. So you got to go along with the okie doke. And the okie doke is telling you, put pressure on that other offense, get your offense together, and then, you know what, next year, if there's another Kyle Hamilton and you got the number 5 pick, go for it. Don't do it this year.
Yeah, you know what, Terry? Again, I agree. I would accept a punter at number 2. I would accept a kicker at number 2. Hell, I'd accept a long snapper at number 2, like Chuck recommended in the chat. I am not accepting a secondary player. It's unacceptable. The league has shifted into where the quarterback is the most important position in football. The wide receiver is now a top 3, top 4 position in terms of value. These guys are untouchable. You can't hit them off the line of scrimmage. 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, you can't touch them. So it's basically a foot race, and they know the route that they're running, and you don't. Corners are at a disadvantage. Safety at a disadvantage. Again, this is a pass-friendly league. Some of the best teams in football are teams that are able to pass the football. And some of the teams that are successful, even if they don't have a dynamic offense, are teams that are able to get to the opposing team's quarterback, not necessarily lock down a wide receiver or cover the middle of the field. Again, football is a team sport. You need secondary players. You need players that can, I would say, at least run with wide receivers, guys that can create space and also take away space on the defensive side. But at the end of the day, the game, I believe, is so ABC in terms of getting a quarterback that can play, protecting a quarterback, and then getting to the opposing team's quarterback. If you can just do those 3 things, Terry, you will be at least an 8, 9, 10-win football team every single season. Am I wrong to say that?
No. And guess what? Even if you have a secondary, I'm not going to say a secondary that sucks, but one that's subpar, if you're in the quarterback's grill within 2 seconds, guess what? Cooper Kupp is not going to be all alone 30 yards down the field. Things like that won't happen because you've disrupted the offense. And I think that's what the Lions need to focus on. We've had so many tragedies in this town involving the Detroit Lions. The biggest one was Matt Millen. But another one was when Matt Patricia comes in here and has no interest, none, by the way, of putting pressure on the opposing quarterbacks. They were going to bend, but don't break. You can't do that in the National Football League. These guys are too talented. The offensive coordinators are way more advanced than when I started covering football with the 3 yards in the cloud of dust. Once he demonstrated that was his philosophy, he should have been fired then, because that's never ever going to work. This is a young man's league. It's an aggressive league, and it's a punishing league. Unless you're, yeah,
absolutely. And you know what? The thing that Fatty Matty failed to realize is, 1, he's not Bill Belichick. 2, bringing in the talent and the scheme that Bill has been able to do all these years is no easy thing. If it was easy, literally, Terry, everybody would do it. And it's the same concept with the quarterback position. If it's so easy to identify who a franchise quarterback is, everybody would have one. It's not that simple. And when you try to bend but don't break, what you're telling me is, Terry, we're going to allow you to reach the 20-yard line. You're going to be able to get into the red zone, and then we're going to play defense. That's basically what you're telling me. And
yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Maybe Bill Belichick can pull that off, but you're not Bill Belichick. Nobody else is Bill Belichick. That's not the way to play the game of football. again, the Lions, the way they're going to be playing this year, Terry, I believe they're going to be very run heavy. They're going to look to control the clock. They're going to look to keep you off the field. And I believe they're going to be an effective team. I would say top 16, top 15 in terms of third down conversion. I think they're going to be aggressive again like they were last year on fourth down. And on defense, again, until the draft, I won't be able to tell you anything. But ideally, the defense has a new pass rusher who is a rookie, yes. Ideally, they have a linebacker, another secondary player. And you're looking at this team like, all right, Aaron Glenn is a good coach. I expect them to play better than they did last year. I don't expect them to be bottom of the league. And again, when your offense is on the field for a majority of the game, your defense is off of it, which makes them look better, which helps them play better.
That's right. But, the one thing people aren't talking about enough in this town is, we just talked about how the NFL has a setup where the offense can basically do what it wants. You can't touch the wide receivers. So bring in one of those first 4 picks that you have, a wide receiver who's big, who's strong, who's physical, who can throw the defender off of him. And in today's NFL, I'm a huge advocate of bringing in, a diva wide receiver, a guy that we may not like all the time because he's such a jerk on the field, but will get the calls, will get open, and would allow Jared Goff to become a competent quarterback. So that defense you talk about, you're right. But let's not fall asleep on the fact that you do need that wide receiver because the NFL has changed. Can't do anything with these dudes anymore.
100%. That's why Tyreek Hill gets paid the money he gets paid. Devontae Adams gets a mega contract from Oakland, Vegas now. This is the league. And 10 years ago, Terry, you weren't paying wide receivers. Randy Moss was being shopped for a 4th-round pick 12, 14 years ago. I mean, the league has changed. 15, 18, 20 years ago, it was important to have a linebacker, a pass rush, a running back, and a decent quarterback. And you could figure it out. In today's NFL, quarterback, protect the quarterback, give him weapons, get after the opposing team's quarterback. That is today's NFL. And you either get with the program or you can continue to lose for another 20, 30 years. For me, it's not that hard, Terry.
No, hey, man, I mean, exactly. And I think sometimes we're slow to adjust as far as a fan base on what's going to help this team grow. Because, even last year, I hear a lot of people saying, don't get a wide receiver, they're a dime a dozen. No, they used to be a dime a dozen. Now they're $1 billion a dozen. Now, they're very important. Let's look, and I know he's a bad name in this town, but let's look at Matthew Stafford. How many times did he hit Cooper Kupp when he was 10 yards open? There was no one within 10 yards of him. He didn't have that in Detroit. That's why he didn't win here. But in other schemes, you get the players, you get the scheme or whatever you want to call it to allow your wide receivers to get open. And that's something that we haven't understood here. I know Wayne Fonts tried it way back in the day because he did, when everyone was doing the West Coast offense, he had an offense called the Great Lakes offense. It seemed to work, but I think because of incompetence in the coaching staff that team did not win.
It's funny. It's so funny to me because the league is shifting, and people, even people like me, we give Sean McVay so much credit. Sean McVay comes from the Mike Shanahan coaching tree. So does Matt LaFleur. And you know who else comes from that tree? Of course, his son Kyle, who is, I would say, the most gifted offensive coach in the NFL right now. Yes, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but that guy in San Francisco is what I would say a genius. And again, the Rams, when Sean McVay first showed up, they were a run-heavy team. And then they developed into this, oh, man, they can throw the ball any and anywhere. Why? Because they have Matthew Stafford. You can open up your offense. So that's what the Lions are going to need to do this year. Heavy, heavy, heavy commitment to the run. good defense, get off the field as soon as you can, control the clock, and Jared Goff's got to make a few throws every single game that'll help you win it. That's going to be their key to success. And another key to success is making sure you treat your stomach well. And you can do that by getting back to Big Boy with their seafood festival. Includes a Friday night seafood buffet. It goes until April 24th. Catch it while you can. Fish and chips, fish fry, popcorn, shrimp, and pike, perch, and a new fish sandwich, all at Big Boy. Guys, check out Big Boy. Any of their many Metro Detroit locations, and we'll see you right after the break.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer.
We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
All right, guys, life is simple. All right? And I'm going to make it so simple for you right now. You know, Terry, we talk all the time about teams' success, historic rivalries. Finding ways to grow the game. And the question that I have for you this morning is, are there any modern-day villains, or at least in Detroit sports, and is it even possible to have them, Terry, when the teams aren't even that good? I always felt, me personally, you can't have a villain if you're not a superhero. And my definition of superhero is you're a very good team. LeBron's quote-unquote villain was Steph Curry, Tim Duncan, Greg Popovich. Michael Jordan, he didn't really have villains. He was the villain, and he was winning all the time. He was the villain that would always win. Isaiah Thomas was a villain to Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. You can't have a villain and a hero without both being at an equal level, correct?
No, that is correct. You have to have friction on the field, and right now there's no friction on the ice, the field, or anything. Now, if people bring up modern day villains, they're not really modern day villains. Names you may hear is LeBron James. Why? Because he trucked the Pistons in 2005 or 2006, but that was so long ago. Right now, Detroit is irrelevant to him, and he's irrelevant to Detroit because he hasn't stabbed Detroit in the heart in over a decade. In hockey, you might bring up Lemieux or other guys, Marchand from Boston, but you're angry at him because of what he does to other teams. He's a jerk to other teams. But nobody has taken anything away from Detroit in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years because the teams are down. So I contend there's really no modern day villains today because of the state of Detroit sports teams. Now I'm thinking of another name, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, we hate Aaron Rodgers, but why? I think people dislike him mostly because of his stance on the vaccinations, a lot of his commentary. But has he really hurt the Lions the last few years? No. Because all he's doing is his job. The Lions are not challenging for the division title. So he can't be really viewed as a villain because, he hasn't taken anything away from you.
Yeah, If you look at the landscape of Detroit right now, let's just go through rising stars, right? Cade Cunningham, obviously, with the Pistons. Lucas Raymond, Mo Sider on the Detroit Red Wings. With the Tigers, you have Torkelson. You have some young arms. You have Riley Green. And with the Lions, there's Penei Sewell. There's possibly Jeff Okuda, but he hasn't worked out his first 2 years, granted injuries. There's no true... I can predict the future where I'm confident, oh yeah, this guy can either A, be a villain for the league, or B, he has a rival currently with him. There's no comparison to Mo Sider in the league right now in terms of his age group. Nobody's playing at his level. And we look at Cade Cunningham. I think Cade, his character will prevent him from becoming the villain. But I would also say that he would be more of a hero, because that looks to me like a guy, Terry, that reminds me very much of Giannis Antetokounmpo's character. Somebody that I believe will stay his full tenure in Detroit, a guy that will commit to the Detroit Success Project. And he will be viewed as a hero. I think villains are a dime a dozen. I think they are, or one of few, or excuse me, a diamond in the rough is what I meant to say. I think they are hard to come across in today's sports world, especially with social media. It's not often people accept being a villain. Everybody wants to be the hero. Everybody wants to be the winner. But nobody wants to take off the mask and be the real person that they are. And again, social media has changed the game. It's easier to talk crap in a press conference, and you don't only have to answer to 12 groups of reporters the next day. It's not that big of a deal. In today's world, there's millions of people following you, and they're looking to get you any moment.
You also you have handlers, and if you make a mistake, they write out a statement, give it to you, and you read it and says, I did not mean to insult the entire Detroit community. I love Detroit. You know, people read statements like they got a gun pointed at their head. So you have people to try to prevent those from being people that you hate. But I thought of one. We do have one was almost a villain. My man down in Houston, because he said he didn't want to play in Detroit. Cade Cunningham can have Detroit. It stinks. There's nothing to do. But once again, that was a 2 or 3 day story. We were pissed and we moved on because he hasn't taken anything away from us. He's not competing for a championship, or Detroit's not competing for championships against Houston. And one of the things that I proposed that was quickly shot down is I thought on Christmas Day that the Pistons should play the Houston Rockets. I know both teams are bad, but we still had the bad blood because Jalen Green had dogged Detroit, said that it wasn't a good city, and I thought maybe for that moment that we could have stirred up and created something, and maybe get that Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, coast to coast, almost an East versus West thing going. But that the NBA didn't see my vision, but that's okay because they don't know what's going on in Detroit. But at some point,
what's the Detroit versus everybody concept? The core fundamental of it. What is it? Does it apply to sports, Terry?
Yeah, but part of it is some people here are bitch made. I don't agree with a lot of it. There's things that happen, and then we always say, "Up there they go. They're going after Detroit." No, maybe people think Detroit or the product in Detroit isn't the greatest thing since sliced bread. And we're going to get that when Cade Cunningham does not win Rookie of the Year. They're going to say, "Up there you go. It's because he plays in Detroit. That's why he's going to get it." Even Cade Cunningham had on his social media, he had a Detroit versus everybody post on there. I don't think Cade Cunningham is going to be Rookie of the Year, but I also don't think this is a shot at Detroit. I think it's a shot at the fact that the Pistons are irrelevant. The Pistons didn't play on Christmas Day. The Pistons don't play on TNT. Charles Barkley doesn't talk about the Pistons. I just think because the franchise is so low on the totem pole, people nationally are not watching this franchise. They don't know what Cade Cunningham does. So that's not a Detroit versus everybody thing. That's your team stinks on the court, and people are not watching.
And I think it's important for people to understand, Terry, that rivalries happen organically. This isn't something you can create. The Bird Magic era, yes, it was very driven by the NBA, and it really made them into the league they are today, or at least help build that foundation. But they were getting to the finals every year. That was a thing. They were the best 1A and 1B for a 10-year stretch almost. And even as recently as Golden State's dynasty, Golden State was so dominant. Who were their rivals? LeBron. It wasn't a rivalry. LeBron won 1 out of the 4 meetings. I mean, that's not a rivalry to me. That's you getting your ass kicked 3 out of the 4 times. So
it's not a rivalry to you, but it's LeBron James. So the NBA creates a rivalry that may not be there.
He's a bitch, though.
Yeah, he is a bitch, but he's the NBA's bitch, and they love him, and he brings in money. So anytime they can promote that guy, they will do that. In fact, you know what? LeBron James probably has a better shot at winning Rookie of the Year than Cade Cunningham. Even though
honestly, Terry, I don't think you're wrong there. I don't think you're wrong there at all. Where you guys will be wrong is by not placing your sports bets for the upcoming NFL draft and the Tigers playing the Yankees again today on MyBookie. MyBookie is the premier sports betting outlet for the Woodward Sports Network. Sign up today and bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. When you sign up today using code Woodward, they will match your first deposit. Again, that's code Woodward. And as always, if you struggle with gambling problems, call the gambling problem hotline at 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live. All right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I talk a lot on the show about idiots and stupid people and how they're a detriment to our society.
There's a lot of them out there.
A lot of them out there. But Terry, this guy has to be one of the dumbest people I've ever read up on, a guy I've ever watched when he was a head coach in the NFL, and that is former Giants head coach Ben McAdoo. Yesterday, Terry, he comes out and announces that Sam Darnold, keep in mind he is the offensive coordinator for Matt Rule in the Carolina Panthers. He announces that Sam Darnold is going to be the starting quarterback this year. He's the QB1, Terry. And less than 5-6 hours later, he walks back on it. Terry, I'm telling you right now, I am willing to take every penny and equity that I have in my home, every penny I have in the bank, every single dollar to my name, and I'm going to place it on Matt Rule being the first head coach to get fired this year. This is a joke. This is a clown show. That's not how you run a franchise. Why the hell is the offensive coordinator coming out and saying that This guy's a starting quarterback when everybody has you taking a quarterback number 6 overall in the draft. Why is he even talking? Nobody cares about him. He is a washed up. I don't know how he has an offensive coordinating job in the NFL. God knows connections. Terry, I want to, I'm trying not to be frustrated. I'm trying not to be angry. But this is ridiculous. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. This is something only a Matt Patricia, Bob Quinn-led franchise, a Matt Millen-led franchise could pull off. And congratulations, Carolina, you pulled it off.
Okay, is this April or is it late August? There was no need to say anything. And particularly in your head, you're hitching yourself to Sam Darnold of all people. That's absolutely ridiculous. You haven't had training camp. You haven't had OTAs. The only reason you do that is if Sam Darnold is having some issues with confidence and stuff. And if he's having those issues, guess what? Probably not your quarterback. So I don't understand that. There's certain things in sports that I go like this, like, duh, I have no idea why you do stuff. But it shows that these are not the smartest guys in the world all the time. They let us believe this is brain surgery. Running a team is brain surgery. Dealing with athletes is brain surgery. But there's certain people who shouldn't be doing this, and they have high-profile jobs.
It's BS. And I don't know why. I want to be very careful how I say this, Terry, because I have to be respectful. You know what? Fuck him. You're right. Why the hell does Ben McAdoo have a job? Why? Somebody explain to me why Brian Leftwich, by the way, granted, he didn't want to work with Trent Baalke in Jacksonville. Totally understand that. But there are tons of talent out there. You saw Mike McDaniel take the step up. A guy that Ben Johnson just promoted from tight ends coach to OC. There are so much more, I would say, young, up-and-coming, talented individuals that are in this league right now that you could go nab to be your offensive coordinator in a year where you're probably going to get fired if you don't play good football. And who do you tie yourself to, Terry? Ben freaking McAdoo. That alone is a fireable offense, in my opinion, for Matt Rule. Somebody who I thought really, to start the year last year, they were 3-0. Yes, they didn't play some of the better teams in the NFL, but that defense was legit. Injuries, obviously, to McCaffrey, J.C. Horn, the linebacking core, the defensive front, the offensive line. It killed their team. But this is a no-excuse league at the end of the day. And I could care less what problems you have. When you make a hire like Ben McAdoo, yeah, you don't get any sympathy from me, Terry. He's done. He's done.
Not for me either, but, there's something wrong with this. And this goes back to, it's a young man's league on the field, and it's turning, and I say turning, and it's not all the way turned, but it's turned into a young man's league off the field as far as the front office is or the coaching staffs are concerned, because the old antiquated ways don't work anymore. They're boring to fans. They can hurt the game in the long run. So, yeah, you do need innovative, young thinking ideas, because that's what the sport is transitioning into. So why do you have some old guy, stuck in the 70s or the 80s, doesn't know what he's talking about in a high-profile position? Why do you have that? Because you have old owners who are comfortable with old thinking, old guys, and they still think the old way works. It doesn't. So we need to move forward, and I know we're trying to figure out Dan Campbell, but at least I will say this. At least he's a young man with young ideas, and I would
take that over the Carolina situation any day of the week. Again, I am so frustrated for Carolina. Again, I think Matt Rule, good coach, probably needs to go back to college at this point. And when you hire Ben McAdoo as your offensive coordinator, how in Carolina there isn't a revolution? Hell, you know what? I offered this to Cleveland. I will openly extend this offer to Carolina. If you need me to come down there and talk sports for 1 week, I will raise hell for you guys. You just let me know. This is unacceptable. They should not even be allowed to coach the first game of the season at this point, Terry. They are going to suck. They are wasting their time with this coaching staff. It is such a damn shame. Ben McAdoo, offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, coming out and saying that Sam Darnold is the QB1, Terry. And then he's not 6 hours later. I shouldn't have said that. Duh.
Well, maybe he had a bad practice. I don't know.
I don't know, Terry. This is some extreme
You know what it sounds like? Sounds like heavy drinking was involved.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Maybe he had a couple shots of bourbon and said, Sam Darnold's my guy. And then when you sober up, I said, what did I just do? No thanks.
You know what, Terry? That wouldn't surprise me at all at this point. I do want to shift a little bit to draft strategy. Yes, Carolina's interested in a quarterback. I think that's the obvious choice for them at 6. Maybe not so much even the obvious choice. It depends. Again, if they believe in Matt Rule, this is such, for me, the way I think, this is not difficult at all. But I find that owners in the NFL, GMs at times, coaching staffs, and really just the GM and the owners, Terry, they struggle to identify ceiling, potential in individuals. And what do I mean by that? Well, Terry, I've seen Matt Rule enough. I've seen him enough to know that I believe he can coach given a correct roster, given he can get the pieces he wants. But there's also a fundamental issue. We've yet to get the quarterback right here in Carolina, and he's spent a lot of money, a lot of draft capital to get those quarterbacks. And on top of that, I am not a fan of his coaching hires. I don't like the staff that he has there. So why am I going to invest in a franchise quarterback at number 6 this year when I could maybe go for a tackle that could play for the next 10 to 12 years for my franchise, fire this joke of a coaching staff, and then next year be picking in the top 3, top 5, and get my quarterback next year along with a young up-and-coming head coach? That's the way I think. That's the way I would handle the Carolina situation. But it seems to me, Terry, that they are going to make the same mistake that the Fords made with Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. They're going to allow stupid people that I have zero faith in, that nobody with a brain would say, yeah, they've got potential. Nobody has any faith in the situation. They're going to allow them to pick number 6 overall this year. Likely going to be a quarterback, and it's going to set them back another 5 years.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the 5 years, too. Cam Newton didn't exactly work out there after their Super Bowl run. They had to go and look for another quarterback. So that sets you back 5 years. You got Sam Darnold and the idiocy of McAdoo. That's going to set you back another 5 years. Carolina, they might be that franchise that moves to London. Who knows if they don't get their stuff together. So it's a very dicey situation down there. And,
new ownership.
Huh?
Yeah, it's new ownership.
Yeah.
They brought in a GM, brought in Matt Rule on a big long-term contract. Everything was like, oh wow, this is new, this is interesting. Are they going to work well together? And then they bring in Teddy Bridgewater, and then they bring in Sam Darnold, and it's just a mess, Terry. They're paying. It is ridiculous how much money they have invested into the quarterback position, and they don't even have it right. They don't have it figured out. Again, the league is simple. The league is simple. Get the quarterback right, you'll be successful. And unfortunately for Matt Rule, who I really like, I like him so much. But Matt, you can't surround yourself with Ben McAdoo. You can't surround yourself with this level of talent. And then you can't allow people in your organization, your coaching staff, to misspeak this way. This is unacceptable. This is 101 basic level stuff here. And when I see this happening, to me, it's the signs on the door that Matt Rule's probably going back to college midseason. He'll probably take a job by the end of the year, and he'll go build another very successful program because I think he's a very good head coach, Terry. But in the NFL, you got to be very buttoned up. Sean McVay, for all the love and credit he gets, innovative, young, good-looking. He's got the very good-looking wife. He's buttoned up. His teams are buttoned up. Kyle Shanahan, very buttoned-up teams. That is the core foundation of being a very successful head coach in the league. And Matt Rule's killing me right now because I'm a big fan of him. I do believe in him, Terry. But these mistakes aren't acceptable.
I don't think you believe in him that much because you want to get rid of his ass already. I think, once again, Carolina could be one of those situations where they disappear for a while. I mean, they had their run. They did good. But maybe the best plan of attack now is to get, even though we're talking about the quarterbacks in this draft are not that strong, you take a chance. You take a chance on any of these young guys to see if you can spark lightning in the bottle, because you're not going to do it with Sam Darnold or Teddy
I'll tell you what,
Bridgewater.
Terry. I'll tell you what, with Matt Rule. If the Michigan job was open, I would be vying for Matt Rule to go over and take that position. If Jim Harbaugh had left to the NFL, that would have been the first guy I called.
Okay. This is NFL, bro.
I know. Look, again, different league, but I still think he can coach. But being a coach in this league and being a successful one takes, obviously, timing. It takes making the correct decisions, getting the quarterback right. Sean McVay, for 2 years, didn't have the quarterback after their Super Bowl run. And people were starting to question, oh, well, maybe he's not a genius. Maybe the league did figure him out. Goes out and gets a quarterback, they win the Super Bowl. Again, levels to being a very good coach in the league, but we do need to take a quick break. When we get back, top of the hour, Scott Bischoff joining the panel this morning for some NFL draft talk. We'll go over a few of mock drafts that have been circling around not only the building but around the league, and we'll also discuss what the Lions should be doing, not at number 2, but at 32. Are they going to be a team that is looking to trade back, move up? We'll discuss that all with Scott next. But before we do, I need to tell all of you at home about Planet Fitness, the official studio sponsor of the Woodward Sports Network. As you see this logo behind me, your fitness is essential. $0 down, $10 a month. Get your mental and physical health right. Go to the gym. Take yourself seriously. Make 2022 the year you take your health seriously. Do it by visiting planetfitness.com or one of their many Metro Detroit locations.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope. A time of wonder. And a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adham, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are as white as myself, Scott, well, you have a problem. And I have a solution for you. Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless, sanitized rooms, and trained, certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals, and they'll beat your competitors by $5. Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Swedish Beauty Lotions. Visit one of their 26 locations, and they've got more coming. Again, that's Chili Peppers Tanning. Check them out, guys. Here we go. Top of the hour, Scott Bischoff, thankfully joining us in studio this morning.
Hi.
Scott, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Terry, Scott's a big fan of yours, by the way. Scott was telling me he was trying to ask you out on a date about 10 years ago, but you declined him. So I'm not sure if you want to maybe share why.
What's the story here?
I think I was married.
Oh, okay.
That's the
that
only
makes
reason.
sense.
I don't hear him. See,
that makes sense.
He's spurning me again.
That makes sense. Well,
It's
here
terrible.
I'll tell you guys
hear me?
what. Yep, we got you, Terry. We got you. Here's what I got for this morning. And Scott, I want to start with this. The Lions picking at number 2. I think we're all pretty on. I think we're mostly on the same page. Edge or quarterback. Those seem like the most two logical approaches. So I want to skip past 2 for now.
Yeah.
32. I don't think it's being talked about enough. At the number 32 spot, the Lions have 2 things going against them. In a typical year, somebody would trade up and get a quarterback at the end of the first round like the Ravens did with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
In a typical year, somebody's looking to move up for that 5th round contract, or that 5th year option, excuse me. This year, there's one team that picks 3 spots before them that unfortunately has 2 first-round picks back-to-back, Kansas City.
Yeah.
They're picking at 29 and 30, I believe. And somebody's going to trade for that pick. Likely. Do you see, the Lions even exploring a trade-back option? And if they aren't exploring any option, a trade-back, what are you doing at that position? If, let's go with the Malik Willis talk at 2. If it's Malik Willis at 2, are you even sure there's going to be an edge rusher you love available at 32?
Maybe, yeah. Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State would fit the bill there. Boye Mafe from Minnesota, same thing. These are guys who are toolsy players. You know, they're not players that are in the consideration, at pick 2 just because they're lacking some things. But as far as pure pass rush guys and edge players, they can give you some nice things at pick 32. I think that's a reasonable way to go. Safety's always, in this draft, safety, if you're avoiding safety at 2, which we've been screaming about for a long time, safety at 32 or 34 is kind of a home run place. It's a nice range for a really good player.
Absolutely. I'm of the mindset. I believe Kyle Hamilton at number 2 is preposterous. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's one of, if not the worst decision any GM could ever make. If I'm a GM, I'm not trying to tie myself to, I drafted a top 5 safety in the NFL. That does nothing for me. Does nothing for my football team long term. Not that they don't have value, Scott, but I like to think of football in this very simple way. And tell me if I'm just off. You get the quarterback right, you protect him, you give him weapons, you get after the opposing team's quarterback. And if you could do 3 or 2 of those 4 things, you're probably a pretty damn good football team in this league. Yeah,
that's generally how it goes. So if you can, one of the ways that you can get after the quarterback is to cover better, which means opposing quarterback has to hold the ball a little longer, which means edge players can get home. But, in the end, with Brad Holmes, he's built up enough cachet in this city with what he's done, and through 1 draft and 2 free agent cycles. Drafting Kyle Hamilton is one of those moves that if he did that, it would make me seriously question Brad Holmes.
Oh, yeah,
I know that sounds bold, but there's flaws with his game. We've talked about it for a while. It's just, please ignore that. Ignore him at 2. And there's a reason why he's kind of tumbling where he's going to, which is kind of where he's always should have been.
You said a few weeks ago that if there was ever a year to take a chance, a flyer on a quarterback at number 2 overall, this was the year. And you believe that guy is Malik Willis. I don't believe it's the year. I think they're a year away. They still have multiple years left on Jared Goff's contract. Yes, they can get out of it and save approximately $15 million next offseason. But walk me through the quarterback class. Why Malik Willis when I could make the case arm talent-wise? Matt Corral has a very good arm. We could even look at Desmond Ridder, somebody with a pretty damn good deep ball, but they all struggle with the same core concept, intermediate, underneath routes, and none of them seem to show that touch. Is that something, 1, you can teach? 2, what are you looking for in a quarterback at number 2 overall? That's a project. I don't think, and it's common in this league to draft a quote-unquote project at number 2 overall, but if any team can do it, I guess you could make the case the Lions can because of the offensive line, because of the young wide receivers, the backfield.
Yeah, and Jared Goff is here for a year at least. So whoever you're bringing in is sitting for a year and learning. Now, the question is, can a player develop touch? Yes. I would say that it's a more difficult thing to pinpoint whether a quarterback can become more accurate. That's a little different story, but can a player we saw it with Stafford. When Stafford was a young quarterback, he would throw short passes really hard all the time. Willis does that. But a lot of these guys have flaws. The thing that, for me, that separates Willis from the rest of them is his upside. Desmond Ridder is close to his upside right now. There's just not a lot more growth for him as a player. I believe that the rawness of the way people talk about Willis as being the super raw prospect is flawed. I'm not sure there's a lot of. I see that there is some raw to his game. There are things that he needs to work on, but there are things that those are things he's already working on. His footwork. I think that some of the level of competition stuff is a real thing at Liberty with there's nobody in the Liberty program who's going to play in the NFL, and Willis, he was fine there. In the end, Willis is a Michael Vick type of player who can beat teams both, threatening defenses vertically and running, and in today's game, you kind of need both. And, you just need – you're not getting away with winning games with middling quarterback play. You're just not. Now – again, the attraction of Willis is, I believe, not just the arm strength, but the mobility. Without a doubt. Scott, in recent years, obviously the quarterbacks that have been successful are the ones that are pocket first, mobile second quarterbacks. And there's a few of them in the league. Joe Burrow, I would consider him semi-mobile. Now, Is he Lamar Jackson? Is he Malik Willis? Probably not. No. But he's so damn good in the pocket that you don't need him to be in. Again, Matthew Stafford, we don't consider him a mobile quarterback. Goes out, he's the first quarterback in NFL history for 6,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and to win the Super Bowl in a single season. Yeah. Playoff and regular season combined. I think that's the guy. Now, I know the mobile train it could be the future. It's yet to be proven that you can win at the ultimate level. Can you win divisions with Lamar Jackson playoff games? Absolutely. Yeah. For the Lions, I think they have a guy that I would define as a bridge quarterback. I think middle of the pack average. Ryan Tannehill can get you 13 wins in the league. But he's not winning playoff games. But he's not going to win you playoff games. But again, the idea that you can win games with this quarterback, right? Yeah. Is Malik Willis a franchise-changing player, or is he can develop into one of those top 12, top 14 guys? So the ceiling is the question here because, again, if Brad Holmes takes a quarterback, well, fine. I can live with that. It's the most important position in football. I just don't expect him to at 2. I think if it's ever going to happen this year, it's 32. That for me makes more sense given in this class, more than any class in recent years. I think it's But who would it be at 32? It's underwhelming, but one of them will be at least a B-plus quarterback. One of them. It's very rare that no quarterback ever comes out in a single class and doesn't work out. There's always one of them that actually comes out and plays at least to a good level. Yeah, for sure. And even in this class, that's talked about as being the worst quarterback class in a while. There will be one or two or more who work out and become viable options. It's just if Malik Willis gets to his ceiling as a player, he is a franchise-altering player. He will be able to do things that other quarterbacks cannot do, and he's able to make plays in a variety of ways, inside structure, outside structure, throwing, running, all those things. It's a huge risk. It is, and there's no doubt. And do I expect them to take a quarterback? No, I don't. I don't think they will. But the problem then becomes if you take a B-level, quarterback at 32, what is that really doing for you? Really? You already have that guy. You know what I mean? You have Goff. He is a middle of the pack quarterback. So yeah, you're
the only the only high ceiling quarterback in this class is Malik Willis.
I like Matt Corral too. Kenny Pickett to me is a don't touch kind of player. There are issues with. I mean, he's a little older. The hand size is a thing. I mean, it helps that you're playing indoors. But to me, there are two who I think are worth taking and worth developing. They both need time. One is Willis, the other one is Corral. But I mean, I fully admit and recognize that there are warts with Malik Willis. It's just what you're getting with him. I just look at it from like a WAR perspective, a WAR baseball perspective. There is no player in the draft who's going to give you more wins if he hits a ceiling than Malik Willis will. No, none of them. You can take Kayvon Thibodeau at 2, and he can give you 15 sacks a year for 7 years and make 7 straight Pro Bowls, whatever it is. I know that's hyperbole, but if he does that, how many wins is that really? How many is that giving you? Realistically, are you winning 2 more games because of 1?
Well, the counter to that would be you've had a franchise quarterback in this town before, and you've seen how not building a football team around him, no matter how good the quarterback is, they aren't able to overcome that.
Correct.
And a lot of a quarterback's success, like I think we've said multiple times now, is the situation they walk into. And I would rather a quarterback walk into, I would say, a middle-of-the-pack defense, an offense that is run dependent for now.
Yeah.
And they can take that next step as an offense once they get that quarterback and maybe a deep threat at wide receiver. Again, if you want to take Malik Willis at 2, it's tough to sell me on it. I understand the value perspective.
Yeah.
What I won't understand is we just finished a marriage where you couldn't satisfy her. How about you work on some things that can satisfy the next person? That way, when you bring that next person into your life, you're able to give them the 3-4 things that they never had or the person prior never had that would have saved that relationship and ultimately taken you over the top. What Stafford was missing all those years was realistically a run game, an offensive line, and a head coach.
Sure.
And if you want to say Dan Campbell's a good coach, great. So right now what they're missing in this football team is a deep threat wide receiver, a number 1. They're missing an edge rush, and they're missing a secondary.
So I would then say to that, you do have pick 32 and 34 and 66 and 97 this year.
But we don't expect to hit them all, to be fair, right?
A couple.
The hit rate is, at the number 2 overall pick over the last 21 years, the hit rate's 52%.
Flip a coin. Really?
Yeah.
But then you have 3 top 45. What I expect, I expect the Lions to be middle of the pack next year. So you're going to have 3 top 45 picks next year too. So it's not like drafting a quarterback and just, okay.
No, of course not. You're still going to build.
Yeah.
I can get behind it. What do you think, Terry?
Advocate for a minute.
Yes.
The Lions missed out because they mess up on their 2nd round and 3rd round picks. That's why they stink. This has nothing to do with top 5 picks or they've had Ndamukong Suh, they've had Calvin Johnson, they've had Matthew Stafford, but in the 2nd round they've had Jordan. What's his name? Dijon Mustard, whatever his name is.
Jordan Dizon, yeah.
Dizon. They miss out on the 32, 40 picks. That's why they're bad. But why not take, Scott, let me ask you this question. We're talking about the Malik Willis of today. Now, if you took that chance, and sometimes when you're a franchise like the Lions, you must be risky. Why, if you take that chance on Malik Willis, and I'm going to use the mad scientist thing, and you throw him in the factory or the lab, and you work on this guy for an entire year to develop him into what you want. How good do you think this man could be by maybe the middle of next season or the beginning of 2023?
So to me, he's a modern day Michael Vick, and I know that sounds crazy hyperbolic. It does. But Michael Vick was 6 foot, 210 pounds, and ran 4.34. Malik Willis is 6 foot, 220 pounds, and ran 4.38 2 years ago. So, I mean, we're talking about speed like Michael Vick. We're talking about arm talent like Michael Vick. So that's kind of where my head goes with it with Willis, is that he's different than a lot of other players. I would just ask, are Buffalo fans happy that they reached on Josh Allen back when he was in the draft? And the answer is that yeah. And Josh Allen was super raw coming out. He just was. And some of it was we as scouts thought it was fatal with him, that he was so inaccurate, even in a bad conference, that I would say he was significantly more inaccurate than Malik Willis is. So Terry, that's where I'm coming from, is that if you put Michael Vick in today's game, what are you getting? And I think that these guys are smart enough to understand what it is that they would have with Willis and how they would have to create an offense for him. Obviously a very different offense than what they're doing for Jared Goff. But that's kind of where it is. That's what his ceiling is a a very athletic player who's capable of making throws and threatening defenses in a variety of ways.
I think that's fair.
Question for Adam. Adam, here's the question for you. What would you rather have next year on the roster for the Lions? Michael Vick as a rookie or Kayvon Thibodeau?
Michael Vick is a rookie. Yeah, no. Again, you value the quarterback position much more. Am I screaming for Malik Willis? No, I'm not. It is a project. It is a risk. It's going to be a risk next year if they don't take a quarterback this year. It's the same conversation.
Yes.
It's always a risk when you take the quarterback. I think it's very important you develop a winning culture here in Detroit, and I'm always going to fall back on that. If this is a guy I know isn't going to play this year, well, do I have the luxury of the San Francisco 49ers where I can take a kid at number 3 and still go to the NFC Championship game?
No.
I don't have that luxury here in Detroit. And would I prefer to win 9 games this year? Yes. Instead of 6 and drafting a quarterback at number 2 and still building a football team. And Brad Holmes has proven he can develop and hit later on in the draft. But damn it. There's always the good and bad. You take the quarterback, everyone's looking forward to year 3 now. People aren't even paying attention to the upcoming
season. It is literally punting on a year.
You're
punting
really this upcoming season.
Yeah.
And the sad reality, which is the reality of the NFL, is unfortunately there's going to be conversation of, well, Dan Campbell is now a 9-26-1 football head coach.
Yep, but the culture is already here. I think that's one of the things that has turned around very quickly that's been so surprising is they went from where they were 2 years ago, which was incredibly bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like leaving a relationship. Look, if I'm dating a 500-pound chick, I probably developed the eating habits of this 500-pound chick. And when I leave her and I date a supermodel, well, damn right, I'm probably eating salads and working out twice a day for the next 2-3 years.
And heading to the gym.
So
right?
when Matt Patricia leaves, I expect
Planet
things
Fitness,
to go
baby.
a lot better immediately.
Yes.
So we got to take a quick break. Terry will continue the draft conversation when we get back. But before we do, I got to tell all of you at home about Gypsy Vodka. It's Michigan's vodka. It's the smoothest and best tasting vodka on the market. It's also gluten-free. Check them out at gypsyvodka.com. Follow them on social media. And as always, my friends, when you ask for it by the name of Gypsy, make sure you drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Guys, the Folding Warehouse. Located in Hamtramck, whether it's one of their multiple bars throughout the facility, their $2 Mystic Beer machine, it's a damn good time. Throw some footballs, you struggle with hand size like Kenny Pickett, it's all good, nobody's going to judge you there. Go to the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, let them know Woodward Sports sent you, and have a good time with friends and family. Hell, even cater or bring in your own food. Check them out at thefoldingwarehouse.com. All right. Terry, I'll let you kick this one off. We talk a lot about Malik Willis. We've talked about what the Lions need to do. Is there a player you're intrigued by, Terry, that you think the Lions should or shouldn't go near with any of their first 2-3 picks?
Should go for is Thibodeau. Thibodeau went from number 1 in the draft to questions of character. And the character issues that I hear about Thibodeau don't faze me. He seems like a guy that has his own thoughts. He may not be the rah-rah, let's go guys, but he can play. And once again, I want to disrupt the opposing's offense. But the Malik Willis thing has me intrigued too. If he's the modern day Michael Vick, I would put that on the Lions any day of the week. And I might be a little bit spoiled because I saw Michael Vick play at Ford Field. And then later in the game, I got to go onto the field and I got to see how much faster he was than anybody on the Lions defense. And that just intrigued me. And I go back to when I was a young lad. Quarterbacks were drafted in the first, second round. They disappeared for a year, and then they came back as something reinvigorated, a better quarterback, because the NFL team got to work with them for a year or two and turn them into something else they weren't in college. And I'm just curious, why can't that happen with Malik Willis or Matt Corral or any of these other guys? And if you're talking about Willis with all this speed and a powerful arm, and I've got a year or two to work on his accuracy, you might be able to pull something off. But my gut instinct is a little bit safer to go with Kayvon Thibodeau at rush end.
Scott, what do you make of the rumors and all the reports coming out on Kayvon Thibodeau? Is he still a top 5 pick?
Yes.
2, do you think that... I think it's ridiculous to question the talent at this point, but his player comp is Josh Allen based on next-gen stats by NFL.com. I don't see that. I don't see Josh Allen, although he's maybe as quick as he is.
Yeah.
He's so physical. He's so powerful. But what should Lions fans consider if Kayvon Thibodeau is the eventual pick? Should they be nervous about, quote-unquote, these character issues, or is it all a facade and teams are just trying to get him to fall on the board?
So, I think there is friction between him and some of the older NFL people. I think some of that friction is driven by his confidence in his game and his ability to answer questions intelligently, and it's threatening. I do think that when you hear a comment like Dan Campbell is not a fan of this guy, I think that's a lot of nonsense. To me, that's a Dan Campbell problem if that's true. I think that spells bad things for your coach if you can't bring on the best pass rusher in this draft at 2 overall because he's not a fan of his personality. I think that it just defies what the Lions are building and what they're doing. You know what I mean? I don't buy that kind of a comment. If anything, I think that's a tell. It's a tell that I think the Lions do like him. Right now, he is the best pass rusher in this draft. I would say that his ceiling is also higher than maybe anybody else in this draft for the things that he can do. His first step quickness, his ability to play with power. And now again, he does need to develop a little bit more so. His moves are right now speed and then bull rush. Those are the kind of things that's how he wins, and he's been able to consistently win in the Pac-12. So I understand that that's where he is right now. There's not a lot of nuance to his game, but this is not a guy who's not willing to work. This is a player who is a grinder. He understands things. His teammates love him. Some of the stuff you hear about him is total nonsense. It's just he's being held to a standard that other players are not. Like he goes to the combine and he doesn't do all the drills, but I mean, he benched. No other edge player benched. The entire running back group did not do the short shuttle and the agilities. I didn't hear anybody knocking those guys. But Thibodeau kind of gets crushed for.
It's a joke.
He's been in the draft process too long. It happens to everybody. It'll happen to. This goes to the quarterback conversation. As much as we like Stroud and Young,
they may not even be the top 2 coming out next year.
They might not be because, the looking glass is not on them right now, and they're going to come to the NFL with warts. The Alabama quarterback is really small. Now, maybe people knock him for that. I don't know. It's just, I think Thibodeau's been in the draft process for 2 years, and people are just tired of it with him.
I'm okay with that. I will say, though.
Adam, let me say this. I think we need the Dan Campbell comments, we need to throw out the window. Because when you read that quote carefully, it's from an unnamed scout or front office guy who heard that Dan Campbell's not a big fan of his. In other words, he doesn't know firsthand. He heard it through the grapevine, and you know what? The grapevine lies to you sometimes. So
all the time.
I'm not saying no one said this to the Sports Illustrated reporter, but you have to be careful when you hear someone say, well, I heard this. I hear stuff about me that's not true. So it doesn't mean that Dan Campbell said this or thought that, but the next time he's at the podium, you damn well somebody better ask him that question, and he'll dance around it. So we'll never know the truth until draft day.
Well, draft day next Thursday, Scott will be joining us. Terry, Russell Brown, the whole crew here at the Woodward Sports Network will be down at the Brass Rail live for our draft day party. It's going to be great, Scott.
Yeah.
Excited to have you down there. I will say, I can guarantee you one quarterback next year that if he does not get drafted, will never play in the league, or if he gets drafted, will never play. Cade McNamara.
Fair.
All right. I just wanted to throw in my daily shot at Michigan football. It's very important that I do that to keep my reputation around here going. Anyways.
He's not an NFL quarterback, but he's Michigan's quarterback.
That is true.
That is true, Terry. We got to go to break. When we get back, Rogelio from the Woodward Tigers joins us this morning to go over the game yesterday, preview today and the weekend, talk to us about Miggy approaching hit number 3,000. But before we do, I got to tell you guys about the sports marketing agency. The sports marketing agency has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues surrounding mental health and substance abuse. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan, they've been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com. That's thesportsma.com. Sean is a close friend of the network. We appreciate all the work he does, and we'll see you guys shortly.
You asked for it, and we listened. The Seafood Festival is back at Big Boy, including a Friday night seafood buffet. Catch it while you can, available at participating locations until April 24th. Also available, the new fish sandwich. We'll see you at Big Boy.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Live from the Brass Rail next Thursday, Woodward Sports will be down for the NFL Draft Party. We'll be hosting it. Starts at 7:30. It will go all the way up until the Lions do something with the number 32 pick. Whether they trade it, they select, I don't know. But I can't wait for it. Join the entire Woodward Sports family. We'll be down there at the Brass Rail on April 28th. That's next Thursday, 7:30 until the first round ends. And, of course, it's brought to you by our great friends over at Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness. Oh, I love that draft ringtone. Awesome. Awesome. It's just... It fills me with joy, Terry. Like, I feel like a complete human. But...
Now, it won't thrill you if they say it. The number 2 pick, the Lions take Sauce Gardner.
Well, that's
you won't like it then.
Everybody knows what's happening on Thursday. I'm dressing up as Tony Montana. I'm gonna have my cocaine with me, and I'm also bringing multiple firearms to the building. And if Sauce Gardner or Kyle Hamilton are selected number 2 overall, somebody's dying. So we'll get that out of the way. Anyways, Rogelio from the Woodward Tigers. How you doing, buddy?
Good, Adam. First and foremost, please do a better Cuban accent than Al Pacino, and I'll be happy with your Scarface impression.
Oh, I got it. Don't worry. I think I'm working on it. I'm not ready to share it yet, but I think the outfit I have is on point. I believe the cocaine I have is some of the highest graded cocaine in the country. I'm feeling really good. I think whatever happens on Thursday, I'm going to be doing blow off the microphone. It's going to be great.
Speaking of outfit, are you wearing your opening day outfit tomorrow?
No, I ordered a custom suit strictly for next Thursday.
Are you going to ever wear your opening day outfit?
I'm wearing it tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's what I asked you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shut the hell up, Fish.
Well,
Jesus, throwing me off here. I'm trying to talk to Rogelio. Unbelievable.
It's actually Tigers related, opening day.
Raj, walk me through. Yesterday they lose to the Yankees. The bats are struggling right now. The pitching looks pretty good. Again, it's way too early in the season for me to even evaluate this baseball team, but what is the next 15, 20, 30 games? What's the recipe for success? How do we see them turning around and really getting those bats going? Is it because spring training was so shortened? What is the issue going on with at least them being able to hit the baseball?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with spring training, but it's not just only the Tigers. The league batting average, according to FanGraphs heading into today, and I was looking at an article from Jeff Passan of ESPN before I jumped on. The league batting average is between 234 and 231, and it's the same identical problem it was last year. So I think it's just the bats seem slow. There's just a lack of power to the home runs are down as well. So there's a lot of factors that into it, not just for the Tigers, but it doesn't help when you go 0 for 6 last night with runners in scoring position when the Yankees gifted you all these walks. And, I mean, Garrett Cole did not look like Garrett Cole. And I thought that the Tigers squandered an opportunity early on.
How about this? How about catching a pop-up, around first base? That might help you win a game.
Well, yeah. I mean, Terry, if you look at that, like, it's still motion. It looks like Alexander's just like, and, I mean, it set the tone for the rest of the night. And, I mean, credit to the bullpen. The bullpen went out there, 7 relievers, 1 run, 5 hits, 11 strikeouts, and they were able to keep the Tigers in the game. But the game also, 4 hours. I did a post-game show last night. I was happy and giddy, but then as soon as I thawed a little bit, I realized I sat out there. I got there a little late because we had a meeting and everything, but, man, it was just so – at the end of the game, my feet were freezing and all that. But that aside, that was a brutal watch just in terms of just watching – the Tigers almost ran out of mound visits. It was a really crazy game. Ronnie Garcia broke a fingernail. That the pitch he had too. It was a strange night last night.
It was a strange night. Again, the bats have cooled down around the league. You're absolutely right on that. Am I wrong to say, Raj, that it's never been a more difficult time to hit a baseball? I mean, even the sliders are now reaching 87, 88 miles an hour. The changeups are in the low 90s. The fastballs are approaching 100 consistently from almost everybody out of the bullpen these days. It's ridiculous. The stuff that these guys are able to throw, it's never been harder to hit a baseball. Am I wrong to say that?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, look at Hunter Green, and I was looking at the average, I think it's the 4-seam fastball, average is up from last year. Clark Schmidt last night, who pitched in relief of Cole, that slider I was sitting right like a couple rows back from home plate. That slider was just darting in and out. He was able to get any left-hander on the inside, or it's just got people to chase. He did a really good job last night. But no, the sliders are becoming like a new fad thing where you're seeing this more hard. It's a harder break, and in terms of even you're talking about the relievers, you just can't go out there throwing 90-91 with movement and expecting something. You have to kind of blow it by these batters, and so it's pretty remarkable to see some of these bullpens just. I mean, the Tigers right now with the 2.5 ERA bullpen, they're right in the middle of the pack, where I thought they would struggle because of all the injuries. And you see guys like Jacob Barnes step up. Will Vest had a good inning last night. But, no, getting back to what you're saying, yeah, the fastball average is up across the league. And Hunter Green threw, 102 the other night? Whew, man, it's becoming the norm. And that's where I think if you look at the league averages across the last few years, the strikeouts per year, strikeout average is increasing by the year. And it's because the pitching is getting better.
Well, Boomers, will it get even worse because these guys aren't even lathered up yet? Or will it kind of even out because the arms are a little bit more tired later in the season? I mean, are we going to see 104 mile an hour?
I mean, I think they'll even out a little bit because based off the arm fatigue. And, remember last year with they were using different baseballs at one point and no one knew about it till later on in the season. So who knows what Major League Baseball is going to do with the whole humidor thing and the sticky balls and the grip that they have on that. So I really don't know. I think that for that part, but I think you're going to see batting averages creep up a little bit as the weather gets warmer too. I hate to use that excuse, but I mean, if you take a foul ball off the nub of the bat right there, that hurts like hell. But there's a lot of reasons. The shortened spring training does not help, and for these pitchers too. That's why you're seeing the rash of injuries across the league, not just with the Tigers.
Yeah, injuries have been a concern. Again, these guys are not fully prepared for a full season. Who's going to get hurt? How teams are going to adapt? Who knows? But look, the Tigers are only 10 games in. They've won 4 of the 10. They're just fine. This isn't 9-24 all over again. I truly believe this team will be just fine moving forward. Raj, my last question for you is, what is it going to take for one Miggy to assimilate with this baseball team after he reaches his milestones? I still think he has a lot to give. Is he the player he was? Absolutely not. But after he gets 3,000, after it's double number 600, then what for Miguel Cabrera? Where is he in the lineup? What's his role?
That's a good question. And I could see him, he's already kind of taking on the fact that you slowly but surely see the guys like Spencer Torkelson, Akil Baddoo becoming the face of the team. I think he kind of serves more or less like maybe bats 5th or 6th, becomes a mentor. I think there's a lot to give in terms of, you look at his swing and how much of a muscle memory it is. We don't know the state of his legs or his lower body at all, but I mean, he seems like he's quote unquote the best shape of his life, that cliche that everybody uses. But I could see him being 5th, batting 5th, batting 6th, giving the singles, doubles. I don't think the power's there at all, and you clearly see that after his contract was signed, he's hit a combined total of 42 home runs after the age of 35 or something to that effect. But I just see him more as like a DH and just kind of serving out where the Tigers will need him. He'll come through when he needs to. I still believe that. He's 2nd in the team right now or 3rd in the team in hits. So there's still some ability there. And I don't think he's just going to go down 8th or 9th in the order, nothing like that. That's not Miguel Cabrera. He's too good for that. And I think he still will be serviceable. But it depends on how AJ Hinch decides to use him going forward. But right now, any offense right now would be great. I mean, team batting average of 196. Whew. I mean, I'm not worried either, Adam, like you are, I'm not worried like you are, I'm not worried.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, but it's like, but I am a little worried about the offense. And again, the bats have been just swinging through, and the walks. It was all Garrett Cole yesterday, but either way, I think Cabrera's still going to be serviceable.
Fair enough.
I like him in his position at number 6. There's no pressure on him. He will come through now and then. The guy seems really happy and carefree and wants to be that mentor. So I like him where he is right now. I'm not expecting Miguel Cabrera to carry this team, but I'm looking for him to contribute. And that's exactly what he's doing in the number 6 position. And the other thing, I always say that he is a great mentor to these young guys. He does want to help them get better. So that's his other strength, making other guys better. And hopefully when this big batting slump leaves us in Major League Baseball, these guys are going to be in a better place because of Miguel Cabrera.
Absolutely. Well, Raj, I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning. Everybody, check out Rogelio on the Woodward Tigers. He covers the Tigers on a day-to-day basis and also gives pre- and post-game recaps. It is phenomenal to watch. Rogelio, thank you so much again. We got to talk soon, probably after the Rockies series over the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look forward to seeing your Scarface outfit. I'll be there at the Brass Rail to support Team Woodward, but I got like I said, I can't wait to see the outfit.
Oh, yeah, I got the outfit. Don't forget the cocaine. That is a very important part of the outfit.
Yeah, cocaine's got to be great pure. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Raj. Oh, man, that was awesome.
And no offense, you don't have the balls to bring the cocaine.
Want to bet?
You're going to be bringing it's going to be gold flour.
No, man, it's going to be this legit stuff. Now, will I do it? Oh, God, you're going to get me fired, Terry. Anyways, we got to go to break. When we get back, we got a lot more to finish up. And then we got mailbag at 9:50. But before we do, I got to tell you about Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Lady Jane's, walk in anytime, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. That's Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is very important that you check out our good friends over at Sticker Genius. If you could pan to the beautiful wall, get your ass over there, Fish. Attaboy. Attaboy. Let's cut. Let's show everybody the beautiful studio wrap that our lovely friends at Sticker Genius put together for the Woodward Sports Network. They did it in one day, which was impressive as hell, by the way. It was a weekend job. They knocked it out in one day. For all your sticker and signage needs, check out Sticker Genius and visit them at stickergenius.com. Again, that's stickergenius.com. Let them know that Woodward Sports sent you. Woo. All right, Terry. We got 10 minutes. Not even 10 minutes. We got 6 minutes before mailbag. Let's get into this. What the hell are we doing about this mask mandate stuff? You educate me here. I'm just going to shut up and listen.
Well, now the mask mandate for airline travel, airports, trains, buses is no longer. So you don't have to wear a mask at the airport. But I'm going to have my own self-imposed mask mandate if I'm going to travel on a plane. First of all, the air on a plane is nasty anyway. If somebody has a cold in the first class cabin, they can cough and it goes to that air and it can hit you in the back.
Well, Terry, just don't
cabin.
use the air. That's the number one thing. Don't use the air in the airplane.
Well, dude, you gotta breathe.
Yeah, but when you turn that air on at the top, nasty. Like, you're an idiot if you do that.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
We're not talking about. Okay.
Why?
That air you're blowing out. No, we're talking about the air that circulates through a plane.
Am I missing something?
The air that you have on the airplane, it is the nastiest thing ever. What? The air in the airplane, it just recirculates everyone's snot and cough and whatever.
Okay.
Even
if you don't turn that nozzle on, you're still going to be breathing the same nasty air. That doesn't matter.
But not as much as it's blowing on you.
On a plane, the air circulates through something, comes back, hits you, and you got to breathe. You can't go like this for 3 hours. You got to breathe. So I'm keeping my mask on if I'm traveling. There's too many nasty people in the airport. And in fact, one of the reasons I'm not in there now is, Fish, you'll appreciate this. Dr. Fauci has COVID.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, so she caught it. And so I've stayed away from her. I'm always in the basement now. But as a precaution, I don't want you to get COVID there, Fish.
Oh, that's nice of you. I'm
I
sure
want
Adam
Fish to get COVID.
there we
Terry,
go.
I need a
waiting
break.
for
I need a break from Fish.
All right, I'll be in 15 minutes then.
Oh man, yeah. Look, finally, I don't know, Terry. It's just gonna piss me off, and I'm trying to work on my anger issues. So.
Well, good luck.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
We're making, we're taking steps forward. I'm glad people are becoming more quote unquote normal. That's nice to see. It's nice to see us making progress. We're doing better. Now,
yeah.
I would like to continue on with my life.
I don't like the word mandate. America doesn't like the word mandate. But on the flip side, if I'm in an airport and I'm deciding to wear a mask, don't dog me for that, because it's an option. We all have options. We all have, what we think is going to be best for our own bodies. So that's basically putting it in our, in our laps. And so don't dog me for wearing a mask.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Good luck with that.
I have the right to remain silent on this one. Like, I wanted to take baseball bats to some of the people that I live with. So it's a long story, Terry. It's a long story. But we'll move on from there. It's mailbag time. Everybody get your questions in the chat. Terry and I will answer them to our best abilities. But before we go, I got to let you know about Cintron. And they got big news. Cintron is now available in select Kroger stores. Visit the store locator on CintronWorld.com to find where Cintron is at your local Kroger. Currently, they have a 2 for $4 special. Be sure to try Cintron Cranberry, the best tasting sparkling energy drink. Cintron is also available in its classic or classic sugar-free can. Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, the Tigers, and the Detroit City FC, and proud partner of the Detroit Pistons. We'll see you guys back for mailbag in a little bit.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adham, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Centron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Wing Snob, fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob has the best traditional wings. Try out our signature sauces, Jamaican jerk or lemon pepper. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you prefer. Order online today at wingsnob.com. Wing Snob, we just have better wings. All right, 9:50, mailbag time, on schedule this morning. We'll get to questions immediately. Spencer in the chat says, Adham and Terry, Lomas Brown said that the Lions are drafting Malik Willis at number 2. How do you feel about that, Terry? To be honest with you, I am good with that. I am on the Malik Willis train. I am on the quarterback or edge rusher train. I don't care who at this point. I think Malik Willis, like Scott mentioned, does have a very high ceiling. That's very nice, like Josh Allen, but obviously a very low floor. But yeah, you're looking for the guy. You're not looking to get an average quarterback. You have that in Jared Goff. You have a bridge. You're looking for that guy that can be the next big thing. And if that's Malik Willis or they believe it's Malik Willis, Terry, I'm okay with that pick.
Well, I'm not thrilled with it, but if you're getting the very best quarterback in this draft, or who you think is the best quarterback in this draft, the Lions, maybe they should take that chance. Now, at some point, you've got to get a quarterback. And over the years, you've passed on classes of elite quarterbacks because of Matthew Stafford. You're not married to Jared Goff. And at some point, you've got to get that guy. And if you believe in him, maybe you take a chance, because everything else the Lions have done has not worked. And if you can put him away for a year or two, develop him into what you want, I'm okay with it. Although I'd still rather have the edge rusher. So I wouldn't mind it.
I'm cool with that. Next question in the chat. Adam, what is your batting average over under 420 in the upcoming Space Dogs softball season? Definitely well over. And speaking of Space Dogs, there is a fellow teammate of mine also on the Space Dogs team. Stick, I'll let you answer the question. Over under 420 batting average for me this year.
Oh, for Adam, way over. Adam, you're probably going to hit around 600 again, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Adam's a beast out there. And I'm glad I walked in just for the Space Dog question. That was perfect.
Great timing.
I'm so excited for Space Dogs this summer.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
And we got to get a Woodward softball team going.
Yeah, it's the revenge tour this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the revenge tour for the Space Dogs. I'm not happy how the season ended last
Regular
year.
season champs, but then we lost in the championship game.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. And on top of that,
I called that one possibly.
On top of that, we came back from a 17-0 deficit in that game.
That's pretty good.
To take the lead by 4, only to lose.
Only to lose it in the final inning. Yeah, it was.
Fish, why are you such a hater?
I'm not a hater.
Why are you such a hater, Fish?
You're not supposed to celebrate regular seasons like you won an actual trophy. That's not how life works.
When you win your division, that is an accomplishment, Fish.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment. You clap, you celebrate for like 5 minutes and leave.
And we did win an actual trophy.
You guys were going nuts for like 5 days over a regular season. You brought it in.
It was like the Stanley Cup. We were sharing it. Everybody got to take it home for a night.
Yeah,
it was
that's
fantastic.
fine if there's no playoffs.
You're always hating, Fish.
No, if there's no
this is not professional sports, dude. Anytime you can win any type of championship when you're a regular schmoes like us, that should be applauded.
Damn right, Terry. That's what I'm saying. Fish, stop being a bitch. Stop hating on our energy over here.
Go Space Dogs.
Go Space Dogs. What are the odds the Space Dogs win it all this season? I am all in. I am all in that we win it all this season. What other questions do we have in the chat?
Bookie put it up.
We will do that.
We could do
year.
that.
We will have MyBookie put up
Space
betting
Dog
odds.
lines.
Yep, we'll have Space Dog
Let's
lines.
do it.
Over under 2.5 hits tonight for Stick.
If you can bet on me and Easy fighting, you should be able to bet on the Space Dog.
Oh, yeah,
Space
we'll
Dog's
make it
a
happen.
lot more legit than me and Easy.
Oh, we'll make it happen this year with MyBookie.
Is
We'll
your
reach
first
out
game
and get
tomorrow?
something going.
No, not tomorrow.
Oh.
All right, other questions in the chat. Terry, what's the deal? We miss you in studio. Are you at home right now because of COVID? Question mark.
Yes. I don't have it. My wife, who I call Dr. Fauci, caught COVID, and she's had it for like over a week, and she's not feeling really well. But so as a precaution, I've tested twice as a negative, but as a precaution, I don't know if I want to come in and be a super spreader. So I'm
good
in
with
my
that,
basement.
Terry.
Yes. I consulted with people, should I come in, should I come out or not? And so I thought the best thing was not to come in, but also to ask what would be the best plan of attack. So Dr. Fauci, my wife, does have COVID.
Well, hope
But
she's
she said,
feeling
I'm in my
better.
basement. Yeah, she's feeling better. I think she thinks she's going to get a negative test tomorrow.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right, we'll see how it
We'll
goes.
see.
We'll see how it goes. How about Verona last night, tying a franchise record by scoring 20 goals in only 32 games? Verona is a certified. In basketball we call him a certified bucket. I'm not sure there's a phrase in hockey, but I would say goal machine. Verona is a goal machine. He is unbelievable when he's on the ice. From any point, anywhere, he can get you a goal. The Red Wings should be very happy to have him, and it should also
You know
serve
who he
as
is,
a
Adam?
reminder. Go ahead.
Adam, he's a biscuit.
A biscuit. Okay, I like that. I don't mind that.
Putting the biscuit in the basket, so he's
I
a
like
biscuit.
I like that.
All right.
It should serve as a friendly reminder, Terry, that the Red Wings traded Anthony Mantha for a first-round pick, Jakub Vrana, and I believe a third-round pick. That is the ultimate FU. While Anthony Mantha is overpaid and not producing, Jakub Vrana is scoring at a level only Austin Matthews, who is the leading scorer in terms of goals in the NHL, can even compete with. It's unbelievable. So happy for Jakub Vrana. My goodness, he's been unbelievable, especially coming off the injury this year. Adam and Terry, what are your expectations for Jeff Okuda? I'll tell you what, Terry. I've been very public about my anger towards Jeff Okuda, not personally, but not being able to be on the field for 2 years. He is the number 3 overall pick. My expectations are he needs to come out this year and play good football and just be healthy. I'm done talking about he's a Hall of Fame player. Can he be a Pro Bowler? Can he be All-Pro? Can he be a shutdown corner? I don't want to hear any of this, Terry. All I want is him to get through the season healthy, play 16, 17 games, and be productive. If he can give me that, I can live with whatever because I'm trying to forget the Fatty Matty era.
Yeah, I don't have expectations for him. He's had the Achilles injury. Even when he was healthy, he wasn't that good. Even though he was a good run stopper, I will give him that. I just expect him to be a competent NFL cornerback. I don't have high hopes for Jeff Okuda. I think he's just going to be one of these guys that we look back on and we told them not to take him at 3, but they did it anyway.
Because they're fat and stupid, and did I mention fat? Being fat, by the way, Terry, being obese affects your mental health. Being obese does affect your mental health. That is scientifically proven. So, Matt Patricia, Andy Reid is the golden standard. He's the only one that's been able to overcome it. But I'm not here to talk about that right now. Let's see. What other questions do we have? Adam, Matt Patricia, Baker Mayfield, and Jared Goff walk into a bar. Who do you slap first? Matt. Wow.
Wisely.
Okay, first of all, I buy Jared Goff a drink. I don't smack him.
Okay.
Jared Goff, I have no hate towards. Matt Patricia and Baker Mayfield. Who do I smack first? Definitely Matt Patricia.
Okay.
Matt Patricia is a scumbag. He's a douchebag, and I think I'd be doing everybody at the bar a favor. But I would not smack him, Spencer. That would be rude. I would take a bottle of a beer bottle and just smack it over the top of his head.
Oh.
Beer bottle better.
How's hitting somebody with a beer bottle better than a smack?
It's more.
Especially
I
a
would
glass
say there's
bottle.
more anger behind it.
Yeah, the only guy that I'm angry out of those 3 is Matt Patricia. Baker Mayfield is not here. The last time I checked, it's just rumors. Jared Goff is trying the best that he can with a depleted roster that Matt Patricia and his boy Bob Quinn put together. So he's the only guy I'm slapping. I'd actually buy the other two guys a drink. They haven't done anything.
I would never buy Baker Mayfield a drink. I don't want him to get the idea that Detroit is welcoming him. We would never welcome here in Detroit. But that is it for today on the morning show. Terry, thanks so much as always. Fish, Alex, God bless all of you. God bless all of you in the chat for sticking around. It's a Wednesday tomorrow. Thursday, 420 Blaze It Up Day. We're doing drug tests tomorrow at Woodward Sports, so none of you better mess today up. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay.
No, all right?
Okay.
Watch out.
I will be
Watch out, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Swivel.
Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow. Check out Big D at 11, and, of course, the bottom line at 2. And have a good Wednesday.
Go Tuesday.